Hello, my name is Robbie Steinhouse, and I'd like to tell you about a model called the Leadership Matrix that I'll be covering on the course Advanced Coaching. This is a model that I created in my book, Mindful Business Leadership, and I think is a very helpful model to help build managerial and leadership qualities. I can't go over the whole thing now, but I'd like to cover a couple. Firstly, the column, which I've called Vision, which incorporates the compass, the architect, and the radar. Compass is that classical definition of leadership, someone who has a strong sense of purpose, a sense of vision. People want to sort of follow that person because they seem to know where they're going. And that is a quality which is really important for a leader to have. The architect is the passion to create elegant systems and develop the business so it can operate and grow because the systems are excellent. And finally, radar is that ability to be able to have a sense of what's going on within that market to make sure that you know what's going on. All those three qualities together I call leadership, not one in isolation. And a good example of why all three I believe are needed is so often people who are great at this sort of vision leadership tend not to be so good at the architecture. Simple example, I went to a university recently which is famed for its leadership, yet the architect meant that there was very poor facilities. The toilet was dirty basically, and there wasn't appropriate processes to get it cleaned, although it was being signed off. So I say simply, if you want me to follow you, show me that you can do the basics, because if you can't do the basics, why would I suddenly be connected with your vision? So it's very important to get all three. Another example, one of the archetypes, is the boss. Now, the boss is that energy where you feel grounded and you're able to assert and express and also hold boundaries. Really important energy when it's done correctly. But so often I hear people say, I had someone I worked for who was a real nasty kind of bully. And that's what we call the shadow. From a kind of Jungian psychology, the idea is you have an archetype, a positive quality, but you also have a shadow, which is, if you like, a kind of troublesome, but in some senses, hugely normal attribute. Is if you have a great quality, an archetype, you will have a shadow as well. And the shadow of the boss, I call the bully. So often, if people have that energy, they can become a little bit sort of over the top afterwards. But sometimes people who repress it, they kind of let things build up and up until finally they explode and show the bully too. So that's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's important to be able to be grounded and have that boss energy. Otherwise, sometimes the expression will be an explosion. And it's kind of knowing, this is probably the key point about the model, is not to be ashamed of the shadow, to see it as a naturally occurring part of the archetype. Thank you, and I look forward to explaining more should you attend our course or if you'd like to read the book. Thank you.